Hello friends, looking at current affairs for 25th June. The news items picked up from the Hindu newspaper are these 12. We'll look at them in detail. The first one, Nagaland minister wants Khaplang faction on board. So this is regarding Nagaland separatist groups. This is NSCN-K and NSCN-IM. These are the two major factions. Actually, with NSCN-IM, government has come up with a ceasefire agreement. So this is an agreement which has been negotiated, the details of which are being finalized. So this ceasefire framework agreement was signed in August 2015 by Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself with these leaders at his residence. So this was done with huge fanfare. This is with NSCN-IM. But with NSCN-K, the other faction of this group, National Socialist Council of Nagaland, Khaplang. So with this group, there was a ceasefire agreement, but it unilaterally violated it, and since then, it has been attacking security forces. And the Home Ministry has banned NSCN-K for 5 years for attacks against the security forces. But now, a new development which has taken place is that NSCN-K leader, after whom it is named also, Khaplang, K stands for Khaplang. So this is, IM stands for Isak Movia. So these were the leaders. The differences between the leaders led to the organization dividing. So SS Khaplang has died in June 2017 in Myanmar. Myanmar is where this grouping hides out. So its hideout is in Myanmar. They attack here in the northeast and then move out of India into Myanmar. Even the porous borders between India and Myanmar are a concern which was highlighted by the Home Minister recently, and we have discussed it. It is mentioned here also. On June 12, Mr. Rajnath Singh, the Home Minister, had set up a panel to examine various methods to curb the misuse of free movement on Myanmar border. So we have a free movement across the border allowed. So this is misused by trans-border criminals and militants. So this is a point here put forth too. So what is the news presently is that since this person, SS Khaplang, has died, the leader has died, the Nagaland Home Minister is requesting the centre to have a ceasefire agreement again signed with NSCN-K as well. So for bringing peace in this region, it is required that these terrorist and separatist groups both come on board for negotiations and a peaceful resolution of the dispute is found. What is the dispute? What do they demand? They demand Greater Nagaland. So this is the demand which they have. What is this Greater Nagaland? This is a region comprising of land of the Nagas. And this does not belong to region of only Nagaland, but also Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur and adjoining Myanmar states region is also demanded. So they want this Greater Nagaland. Now this Greater Nagaland, if you include regions from beyond India, then of course it seems to be a demand for a separate nation. But then some leaders also accept that this is a demand for a separate state. Even NSCN-IM has been ambiguous. They have stated that a demand for Greater Nagaland has been accepted, means it will be sovereignty would also be accepted. So that is idea put forth by NSCN-IM too after the ceasefire agreement. So still it's not clear. The details have not come out. So here it is shown the statements coming from Nagaland Home Minister too of bringing in peace and dialogue with NSCN-K, and this is the whole history shown here. So this Naga movement was started with the leader here, Mr. Fizzo, AZ Fizzo. So he founded this Naga National Council and declared independence just a day before India gained independence. So this was the step taken, and since then this separatist movement is going on in Nagaland. So Naga Peace Accord has been signed, but then again it has been violated, and we are seeing the ceasefire. You can see 1997 it was NSCM signing a ceasefire, NSCN-K signing a ceasefire, but then they broke ceasefire, and again a new peace accord has been signed with NSCN-IM only. So this is the whole history shown here. So after the peace accord signed. So of course it will help. This is said to be the longest running insurgency in India. So if once peace is brought in here, it will bring an end to this insurgency, and also it would help in bringing in development in this region, investment in this region, Northeast, which is generally seeing less of investment and development, and also it will boost India's Act East policy and improve ties with Myanmar. So Myanmar is the one on whom we put pressure to book these NSCN-IM and these separatist leaders who take shelter in their territory. Then this is regarding what NSCN-IM wants. So they demand Greater Nagaland, as we just discussed. So joining region, you can see here it is shown. It's not just Nagaland, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh region, Manipur region, and also Myanmar region. So here Assam is also included. So all this region is what they demand as Greater Nagaland. Then next is EC disqualifies MP Minister Narottam Mishra for 3 years. So Narottam Mishra, he is the Minister of Madhya Pradesh government, and he has been booked for not providing correct accurate expenses, election expenses. So all the election expenditure has to be put forth before the election commission when you contest the polls, but this had not been provided, details were not correctly provided in 2008. So this, when he contested for the Datia constituency in 2008, he did not provide for the news, paid news which he had in various publications. So this issue of paid news was highlighted. So this paid news, he must have paid for these news items which were clearly paid news, and they were not shown in electoral expenses. So that is why a case was initiated against him. He approached the Madhya Pradesh High Court, Supreme Court, and finally now the election commission stand was upheld by the judiciary also, and now it has said that he would be barred from contesting elections in any state legislative assembly for the next 3 years for filing these wrong amounts of election expenditure. So this is the announcement coming forth. So this is because he has violated provisions under the Representation of Peoples Act 1951. So under this, action has been taken by the Election Commission, because in this it is mandated that you have to give accurate information of expenditure during the polls. Okay. So this is the news here. So there are 2 issues here. One is regarding wrongful account of election expenditure and also paid news. Okay. Then the next news item is Fadnavis announces 34,000 crore farm loan waiver. So Maharashtra government has announced this 34,000 crore loan waiver. It had already agreed that farm loan waiver would be provided, but the details were not provided about how much amount loan waiver would they accept. Immediately for small and marginal farmers, the provisions were made. So here you can see Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Samman scheme has been announced. This is the farm loan waiver scheme of Maharashtra government. So all those outstanding loans from 2012 to 2016 financial year, you can see from 1st April to June 30, 2016 till to June 30, they would be provided a one-time settlement. So 1.5 lakh rupees as such would be provided by the government. So all those loans of over 1.5 lakh rupees will get this much amount farm loan waiver, a maximum, or 25% of their outstanding loans. So whichever is lower would be provided to them as a one-time settlement. So this has been announced. So it will clear up the 7/12. This is called the property cards for loans. So you have to give your 7/12. This is like the property document, the land document which the farmers hold. So they have to give this on mortgage to acquire the loans. So once the loan waiver is provided, these property cards would be free. So that is the benefit which 40 lakh farmers are expected to get. Right? Then another point raised is, where will the money for this farm loan waiver scheme come from? So the government has also announced here that all ministers and MLAs of BJP would donate 1 month's emoluments that they receive to finance this loan waiver. So this is a prominent step being taken here. So this is the details provided, you can see. Right? So we just discussed this much is the amount. You don't need to remember the figures. And this is regarding the other states also, the loan waivers provided by them. So Punjab has announced loan waiver up to 2 lakh. UP government has announced loan waiver up to 1 lakh. And Karnataka loan waiver up to 50,000. Now Maharashtra up to 1.5 lakh. But you don't need to remember the details and the facts of how much each state has waived off. It's fine. Nobody is going to ask you in prelims, and in mains it's your choice that whether you wish to mention it or not. So if you don't need to mention it, at least the states you know what has been done, and a prominent step taken of MPs and MLAs deciding that they will donate 1 month's emolument is appreciable. Okay. Then the next news item is Center gives wings to International Airport in Jewar. So this Jewar International Airport will come up in NCR region, National Capital Region. What do you mean by NCR? Delhi NCR. NCR is Delhi NCT. So if you say NCT, National Capital Territory, it's only Delhi. But when you say NCR, it covers adjoining regions also from 3 states, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana and Rajasthan. So you can see the Uttar Pradesh regions like Meerut, Ghaziabad, Gautam Budh Nagar, which is the official name now. So this is Noida, Greater Noida. So all these regions are included in NCR. Then Haryana regions like Sonepat, Rohtak, Gurgaon, are all included, and even Rajasthan's Alwar district is included. So what is the issue presently is that Delhi's Indira Gandhi International Airport is expected to become overburdened in the next 7 years. So there's a need for another airport, and this has been negotiation going on for this Greater Noida's Jewar region in Uttar Pradesh, where a world-class international airport should be set up, has been going on for long now. But finally now the Civil Aviation Ministry has cleared this project. So it has received nod from Civil Aviation Ministry, Airports Authority of India, Directorate General of Civil Aviation, Defense Ministry, as well as the Finance Ministry and Niti Aayog. So all approvals are in place now for this Jewar International Airport. One more thing which you should know about here is regarding right of first refusal. So this is a right which is given to the owner, the operator of Delhi International Airport. Why is it so? Because this new airport which is planned for Jewar region in Uttar Pradesh in NCR is within 150 kilometers of Delhi International Airport. So this is the GMR-led DIAL, Delhi International Airport Limited, which is presently in a PPP, public-private partnership model. It is currently operating Indira Gandhi International Airport. So it will be given the right of first refusal. Means it will be first offered to develop Jewar International Airport, and if it accepts it, great, but it can refuse as well. So that is the right of first refusal. This is also there for GBK-led Mumbai International Airport Limited. So this is the consortium which is running the Mumbai International Airport. So they would also be given right of first refusal for the Navi Mumbai Airport which is being planned. So same way, because it is within the 150 kilometers of the airport. So this is there. Then this is the regarding the proposal. It came in 2001 for the first time that an airport at Jewar in Uttar Pradesh should be established to ease the burden on Indira Gandhi International Airport. And now finally it has received all the approvals. Then the next news item is transport tunnels under Hooghly set a record. So this is again another infrastructure project which is going on in Hooghly region here. So you can see the Hooghly River. So below the river, there are these two tunnels which are being constructed, which have already been installed now. So they will be running metro lines here. So this is the huge tunnel you can see which has been built here. So this is 1 feet which has been accomplished. Below the riverbed, you have this tunnel here. So this is the Kolkata Metro Rail Corporation which has completed this project. So here the map is also shown. So this is the region where this tunnel is placed. So this, it says this is the first such infrastructure project which has been initiated in the country, and it is few group of nations which have such underwater transport, and we have also installed such tunnels for the metro train. The first metro train in the country also started in Kolkata in the year 1984. So it's almost 33 years after this that another feat has been accomplished. Then the next news item is frustration again for India at NSG meet. So the 48 members NSG, Nuclear Suppliers Group, had its meeting here in Switzerland's capital, Bern. So here at the meeting, India's membership again did not see any light of the day. The demand which India has been making, and it is the second year now, and it has been installed because NSG functions through consensus. Means any decision which has to be taken, any new member has to be accepted. All 48 members have to accept it. And one of the members who is prominently opposing India's membership is China. So this China is whom India blames for it not getting NSG membership. Though NSG has given us a special waiver after India-US nuclear deal was signed. So this was in 2008. That we have got a special nuclear waiver from NSG to conduct nuclear business. What is Nuclear Suppliers Group for? For conducting nuclear business. So we already have a special waiver, but we want full-time membership as well. So this is what we are trying to see. And why is NSG not giving India membership? Because India has not signed NPT. What is NPT? Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. And why has India not signed NPT? Because it is called discriminatory by India. Not just India, even Pakistan has not signed NPT, and NSG members' major contention is that for nations like India and Pakistan which has not signed NPT, there should be a specific procedure how their membership should be initiated, how they can be becoming members of NSG. So for India and Pakistan both becoming members, India is not happy with this because India has a clean slate in terms of nuclear non-proliferation, while Pakistan is known to have proliferated nuclear weapons, not just to North Korea, but also to Iran presently. So A.Q. Khan, General A.Q. Khan, who is called the father of nuclear technology in Pakistan, is known to have proliferated, spread this knowledge of nuclear weapons. And what this nuclear non-proliferation treaty is all about is that nuclear weapons should not be proliferated. And that is why in this, actually the discriminatory part is that those nations which are regarded as nuclear weapon states, they can continue to have nuclear weapons. But the other states should not seek to acquire nuclear weapons. So you can see the 5 nuclear weapon states are the 5 permanent members of UN Security Council. That is US, UK, France, China and Russia. So these are the P5 members. Apart from these 5 members, other nuclear weapon states which are known are India, Pakistan, you can see North Korea, Israel are also nuclear weapon states. But then they are not recognized under this NPT. North Korea had actually signed NPT but later withdrew. And India, Israel, Pakistan have never signed NPT. South Sudan, because it was the latest nation formed, that's why it's mentioned here. So it was a new nation, so it had not signed that way. So these are the details given here. Then this nuclear non-proliferation treaty, you can see the discriminatory part is also specifically mentioned. So 5 nuclear weapon states agree not to transfer nuclear weapons technology to other states, and non-nuclear weapon states agree not to seek to develop nuclear weapons. So if India signs this nuclear non-proliferation treaty, will be regarded as non-nuclear weapon state. So as a non-nuclear weapon state, how can be our status? We already have nuclear weapons. So that is the aspect. Then we have to give up nuclear weapons is what the P5 nations insist on. So that is why we have not signed nuclear non-proliferation treaty, right? And this special waiver which we got is here, you can see. So the special waiver in 2008 was because we had signed India-US nuclear deal, and to conduct nuclear trade, USA wanted India to be allowed to have trade with it. So for that, NSG approval was required under US legislations also. So Nuclear Suppliers Group gave this special waiver, after which India-US nuclear trade was also made possible. That way. Though we have seen the deals are still struck, even Westinghouse deal is struck on nuclear, nuclear reactors as such. So that is there. And you can see the Nuclear Suppliers Group detail is also mentioned, and how China is opposing India's membership because, and this point raised is because India has not signed NPT. And there is no formal rule as such in NSG that if a member is not signatory, if a country is not signatory to NPT, it cannot become a member. There's no such rule mentioned in NSG rule book as such. So you should know that also. Right? Then the next news item is, in Mumbai, Taj Palace gets a trademark. So this is the image trademark which has been provided to Taj Mahal Hotel in Mumbai. So this is the hotel opposite to Gateway of India, the historic landmark of India, and Taj Mahal Palace Hotel also claims to be an important landmark here. And this image trademark means this is the first time that a structure in India has been given an image trademark. So generally what you hear of is that logos, symbols as such are given registrations, but now this image trademark has been provided, means no organization can make commercial use of images of Taj Mahal exteriors without its consent. So this is one development which has taken place. You should know this Taj Mahal Palace Hotel was established by Jamshedji Tata, when the famous story which is known that he was not allowed in the Watson Hotel here because it was allowed only for whites. So he decided to have its own hotel. So this was the first luxury hotel established in the country. And also it was the first one during those times to have electricity as well. So Indian hotel with electricity. Even Lord Mountbatten had announced country's independence from the steps of Taj Mahal Hotel in 1947. Right, and it had been had flames and smoke coming out during the 2008 Mumbai terror attacks, because this was also a region of attack, the Taj Mahal Hotel of Mumbai. So this is the image. You cannot use it commercially anymore. Then the next news item is, damming river water impacts fish diversity. So this was a study done in the Western Ghats, and it was found that when dams are constructed, the fish population is affected downstream. So fish species downstream are affected, but then when there are tributaries running in, so these tributaries joining the main river then help in the fish diversity again being maintained. So this is an important point, because when these dams, hydrological barriers, small dams, large dams, when they are constructed, there should be a proper evaluation on the diversity of fish also. So fish biodiversity also has to be maintained, preserved. So that's why this is an important study coming forth. Then the next news item is, NASA's chess to study interstellar clouds. So what is this CHESS? This is Colorado High Resolution Echelle Stellar Spectrograph. So this is actually a sounding rocket. So this rocket is going to study interstellar clouds. Interstellar means in between the stars. So interstellar clouds are having the content, the material for earliest stages of star formation. So studying these will give us idea about the life cycle of stars also. So understanding this is what NASA is aiming at through this CHESS. So this will be the third flight of CHESS actually in the last 3 years. A more detailed survey would be conducted. So you can see this space between the distant stars have these vast clouds of neutral atoms and molecules as well as charged plasma particles. So these are through which new stars and even planets are formed. So here you can see this is a stellar nebula through which stars are formed. So here this material is used. An average star may be formed or a massive star. So the life cycle of a star is shown here, you can see. So this an average star over a period of time, because what are those stars? They have produced their own energy. So hydrogen is converted into helium. So this red giant is formed after a later stage, and then planetary nebulae, and finally when its entire mass of hydrogen is converted into helium, and further radioactive elements also are converted by further reactions, and finally when it is exhausted of all its fusion material, then finally it converts into a white dwarf. And for massive stars, they become red supergiants, then supernova, and finally they end up as a neutron star or a black hole. So only massive stars are those which finally turn into a black hole. So this is the life cycle of a star. Now UPSC has never asked such questions, so you don't need to go very much in detail, but what I have stated is sufficient, that there is this life cycle and black holes are formed out of massive stars. At least you should know this. Then next is, who really needs to be gluten free? So what is this gluten? Gluten is a protein which is found in wheat, barley, rye, etc. So this protein is actually considered to be not good for people who are suffering from this celiac disease. So this is an immune system disease in which the consumption of this gluten results in intestines and other tissues being attacked. So this is an immune response as such. So this antibodies attack and damage linings of small intestine. So this celiac disease is an inherited condition. So for this, it's required that gluten should not be consumed. So you can see. So this stimulates the antibodies and they attack the small intestine. So this is a information which very much comes in news. You hear of products coming as gluten free, and UPSC has this habit of asking questions on terminologies or things which are prominently there in news. So you should know about what is this gluten and what is this celiac disease specifically, in which this gluten consumption is a threat. So this is how this is the small intestine linings. The small intestine has this finger-like projections called villi. So this is shown here. Then next is, barely 10% death in India are registered. WHO report. So this is World Health Organization's World Health Statistics Report 2017, in which it is stated that India has only 10% of all its deaths registered every year. So that is it. We don't have registration for all deaths. Only 10% of the deaths have been registered with a reason for the death known. Because knowing the reason for death is essential, because of what kind of diseases are people suffering and dying, so that further action can also be taken at policy level and governance level. So, but this is not being done, though it is mandatory. The laws in India make it mandatory that each death as well as a birth should be registered with a local civic agency within 21 days. The law is there, but still registrations don't take place. Only 10% registrations take place. There are around 50 countries in the world where 100% registration has also been. And the last news item is, yoga and meditation can change your genes, study says. So these British researchers have analyzed the data coming from various studies which have been undertaken on various mind-body exercises like yoga, meditation, even other breathing exercises, and also Qigong, Tai Chi. These are also other Asian exercises. So these are seen to suppress the expression of genes and genetic pathways that promote inflammation. So when you are under stress, inflammation takes place. That's the immune system's response, and that has negative consequences also in this stressful world. So what happens is that these mind-body exercises suppress these genes and genetic pathways, because if you allow, if there is no such mind-body exercise conducted, then these genes would be expressed and they would later be inherited. So this is genes linked to poor health and depression, which would be inherited. So they can reverse, this reversal of these can take place through mind-body exercises. So this has been found here. So these are the news items. Thank you.